moments of stillness, we also become aware of something incredibly powerful, the peace that resides within us. So often we look for peace in external circumstances, believing that if we can just solve that problem or achieve that goal, then we will finally feel at ease. But the truth is, peace isn't something we find in the world around us, it's something we cultivate within ourselves. When we remain silent, when we stop the constant chase, we begin to recognize that the peace we seek has always been within us, waiting for us to acknowledge it. It's a quiet, steady presence that can weather any storm, a foundation upon which we can stand no matter the chaos or uncertainty around us. The moment you stop searching for peace outside of yourself and start looking within, you realize that it's always been there, gently whispering that you are enough, that you're everything, and that everything will be okay. But peace requires patience too. We can't expect to find it if we're constantly in motion, running away from our fears or trying to outrun problems. Peace is only accessible when we are willing to stop and sit with ourselves, to face our inner world with compassion and understanding. In silence, we allow ourselves to process our emotions, to heal our wounds, and to find clarity amidst the confusion. When we make space for our thoughts and feelings, they no longer control us, we control them. The beauty of silence is that it is not an empty void, but a place of potential. It's the fertile ground in which we plant the seeds of intention, creativity, and possibility. Just as a gardener doesn't force the soil to grow, we cannot force our ideas, dreams, and desires into existence. Instead, we plant them in the quiet spaces, nurturing them with patience, trust, and faith. And just like the seeds, they will grow in their own time, with roots that run deep and branches that stretch wide. In a world where we are constantly encouraged to do more, be more, and have more, it can feel unnatural to slow down. Yet slowing down is one of the most powerful things you can do. When you allow yourself to take a step back, you give yourself permission to breathe, to simply exist. And in that space of existence, you open yourself to greater possibilities, greater awareness, and greater peace. Life is not a race. The idea of keeping up with others is an illusion. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's path is unique. And when you trust your own process, when you trust your own timing, you begin to realize that there is no need to rush. You are not falling behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Everything you are meant to experience will come to you when ready, and no amount of stress, worry, or force will make it happen any faster. The more you stay silent and trust in the process, the more you realize that you don't need to have it all figured out. In fact, having it all figured out is a myth. Life is about exploration, learning, and growth. It's about taking each step with curiosity and openness, knowing that you don't have to have the final destination in mind. The journey itself is the gift, and it's in the unfolding of each day that you find the richness of life. Consider the way nature works. It doesn't rush. Trees don't grow overnight. Flowers don't bloom instantly. Seasons shift gradually in their own time. In the same way, you don't need to have your entire life mapped out today. It's enough to trust that you are moving in the right direction, one step at a time. And as you move forward, you'll begin to notice how everything falls into place, how the connections you need will appear, how opportunities will arise when you are ready for them, and how the people you need will enter your life at just the right moment. When you stop pushing against the current of life and simply float with it, you begin to experience a sense of ease and flow that makes everything feel more natural. You stop forcing things to happen and start allowing them to happen. And in this space of allowing, the world opens up to you. New possibilities appear and your vision becomes clearer, all because you've stopped trying to control every detail. You've allowed life to lead. And in doing so, you found yourself exactly where you're meant to be. We are often so caught up in the how of achieving our goals. How will we get there? When will we get there? What do we need to do next? But sometimes the most important thing we can do is let go of the how. Stop worrying about the details and simply focus on the next step. You don't need to have the entire path ahead of you because it will unfold as you go. When you stop worrying about the destination, you find that the journey itself becomes so much more rewarding. In the stillness, there is wisdom. In the silence, there is knowing. And in the peace, there is power. The more you practice being still, the more you strengthen your ability to listen to your inner voice, to listen to your intuition, and to listen to the subtle messages that life is sending your way. The answers you've been seeking are already inside you, waiting for you to stop long enough to hear them. And so I encourage you to stay silent, not in a way that isolates you, but in a way that connects you to your own truth. Take moments throughout your day to simply breathe, to listen, and to reflect. Let go of the pressure to always be moving, always be doing, always be achieving. Instead, embrace the beauty of the pause, the beauty of the present moment. Trust that everything is falling into place. Trust that everything you need is coming to you at the perfect time. When you stay silent, you invite the wisdom of the universe into your life. You stop forcing outcomes and instead you open yourself up to what is meant to come your way. You align yourself with the natural rhythms of life. And as you do, you'll find that everything flows more easily, more gracefully. Your desires will manifest, your dreams will unfold, and you will find yourself living in harmony with the world around you. And most importantly, you will realize that the most profound success comes not from external accomplishments, but from inner peace. It comes from knowing that you are enough just as you are. It comes from the understanding that you don't need to prove anything to anyone, and that the journey itself is the reward. So, stay silent. Let go of the need to rush. Trust the process. Trust yourself and trust that everything will come to you naturally. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and everything you need is already within you. It is simply a matter of allowing yourself the space to listen, to trust, and to be. The beauty of silence is not only in the absence of noise, but in its ability to allow us to reconnect with our own essence. In a world that is constantly moving, it's easy to forget who we truly are beneath the layers of expectation, self-doubt, and external pressure. When you embrace stillness, you return to your authentic self, the part of you that is not defined by what you do, but by who you are. This space of quiet, you start to see life for what it truly is, a series of moments unfolding, each with its own lessons and blessings. In silence, you gain the wisdom to know that the external circumstances around you do not define your inner peace. You realize that you are not bound by the opinions of others, not confined by timelines, and certainly not limited by what's happening in the world around you. Your journey is yours alone, and it doesn't need to be rushed or compared to anyone else's. How many times have you found yourself comparing your journey to someone else's? It's an easy trap to fall into, especially in today's world, where we are constantly surrounded by curated success stories and filtered images of perfection. But the truth is, no one's journey is the same, and that's exactly how it's meant to be. Your path is uniquely yours. The experiences you go through, the challenges you face, and the dreams you chase are all part of the beautiful unfolding of your life. When you remain silent, free from the noise and distractions, you'll begin to appreciate the beauty of your individual journey. This is why patience and trust in the process are so important. Sometimes we get impatient because we look around and think that we should be further along, that we should be achieving more, that we should be living a different life. But the truth is, we are exactly where we need to be. Each day is a step toward the person you are becoming. Each struggle is preparing you for the next chapter of your story. And each moment of stillness is a moment of growth and insight. Allow yourself to step away from the frantic pace of life and trust that when the time is right, you will be ready for the next step. Life is not a sprint. It's a marathon, one that requires you to pace yourself, to rest when needed, and to embrace the slower, quieter moments. It's in these moments that you gain the strength, the clarity, and the understanding to move forward. The natural flow of life doesn't rush. Seasons change slowly. Trees grow slowly. The moon moves through its phases in perfect timing. And so too, we don't need to push against the current of time. Instead, we need to learn to flow with it, trusting that we are exactly where we need to be in this very moment. Your life is unfolding at the pace it needs to, and all you need to do is trust it. When the time is right, things will happen with ease. You will be ready, and the world around you will align in ways you never thought possible. There is an incredible power in surrendering to the natural flow of life. When we let go of the need to control every outcome, we allow life to surprise us. We allow ourselves to experience joy, growth, and peace in ways we might have missed had we continued to force everything to fit our timeline. Life is not about forcing things to happen, it's about allowing things to unfold. It's about releasing the grip we have on our expectations and trusting that the universe knows better than we do. In that surrender, we find freedom. We find peace. We find the ability to trust that, no matter what, everything will work out the way it's meant to. And we no longer need to fear the unknown, because we know that the unknown is simply part of the journey. It is the space where magic happens, where growth takes place, and where the best opportunities are born. Remember, your dreams are not running out of time. You are not too late. You are not behind. Everything you desire is unfolding in its perfect time. Trust that the path you are on is the right one for you, even if it doesn't look the way you imagine. Sometimes the greatest blessings come from the most unexpected paths. When we trust in this flow, we open ourselves to life's natural rhythm, and we stop fighting against it. We stop pushing ourselves harder, faster, and with more urgency, and we allow ourselves to move with the flow, allowing opportunities to come to us with grace and ease. The things you are meant to do will reveal themselves when you are ready to receive them. And when they do, they will feel right. They will feel natural. They will feel like the next step you were always meant to take. When you embrace silence, you allow yourself the space to breathe, to think, to feel, and to grow. In that stillness, the noise of the world quiets down, and you can finally hear the whispers of your heart. Those whispers are your true desires, your inner voice guiding you toward your purpose, your passions, and your dreams. They are the keys to unlocking your potential, to finding peace and fulfillment in all that you do. So, if you are facing a moment of uncertainty or doubt, take a step back and give yourself permission to be still. Don't feel the pressure to have all the answers, to move quickly, or to act out of fear. Instead, allow yourself to rest in the knowledge that everything is working itself out in perfect timing. Your desires, your dreams, and your goals will come to you when the time is right. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to force them. You only need to trust, to be patient, and to stay silent. The quiet moments are not wasted moments. They are moments of reflection, of growth, of alignment. They are the moments when the universe is preparing you for what's next, when you are being guided to the next phase of your life. And when the time comes, when you are ready, everything you've been waiting for will unfold naturally. The world moves in cycles, and your life is part of that rhythm. Just as the sun rises and sets, just as seasons change, so too will your life unfold in its own time. There is no need to rush. There is no need to panic. Trust that you are on the right path and everything will come to you naturally when it's time. So, stay silent. Embrace the stillness. Allow yourself to process and know that you need everything you desire, and everything that is meant for you is already making its way exactly when it should. It's essential to recognize that the noise, the pressure, the constant striving, these are often the very things that cloud our vision and prevent us from seeing what is truly important. When we live in a state of constant busyness, our minds become cluttered, and it's difficult to hear our own thoughts clearly, let alone listen to the world around us. In these moments of overwhelming activity, we miss the subtle guidance that is always available to us. Take a moment right now, wherever you are, and pause. Feel the stillness around you. Even in a busy world, there are moments of quiet if you are willing to listen. The world is constantly speaking to us, but it's easy to miss if we're too caught up in the noise. The breeze, the hymn of the earth, the quiet whispers of your own thoughts, they are all part of the natural flow of life, and they are constantly guiding us toward our true path. We only need to listen. The truth is, silence isn't about shutting out the world, it's about finding harmony within it. It's about aligning yourself with the natural rhythms of life, where you're not fighting against the current, but flowing with it. Think of a river. The water doesn't try to force its way through every obstacle. It simply flows around, over and through, finding its own path. It knows that in time, it will reach the ocean. And so must we. The process doesn't have to be forced. It will unfold in its own time, if we simply allow it to. We live in a culture that glorifies the idea of doing. We are constantly taught that we must act quickly, be everywhere at once, and never stop moving. But true success isn't found in relentless doing. It's found in being present, being aligned, being patient. When we are present in the moment, not only do we discover joy in the smallest things, but we also open ourselves to opportunities that we may have overlooked in our rush to get things done. By staying silent, you create space for your true self to emerge. We all have inner wisdom that's been cultivated over the years of our experiences, but often it's buried beneath the layers of expectations and external pressures. When we give ourselves the time and space to be silent, we reconnect with that wisdom. We learn to trust ourselves. The more you silence the external distractions, the louder your inner voice becomes, guiding you toward the path you're meant to walk. Patience, too, is a form of wisdom. The world doesn't operate on our schedules. We can't force things to happen before their time, and we can't rush growth. Just like a tree doesn't rush to grow, neither should we rush to become who we are meant to be. Growth is gradual, and it happens when we are ready, not when we think we are. Patience is learning to trust that the seeds you plant today will grow into something beautiful tomorrow. It's understanding that everything has its own time and season. There's no need to force the flowers to bloom before they are ready. If you allow the soil to nourish them and the sun to shine on them and the rain to water them, they will bloom when the time is right. And so will you. Trust in the timing of your own life. Trust that what you need will arrive at the right moment. And trust that your journey, though it may not always follow the path you expected, is unfolding exactly as it should. There are no shortcuts in life. The most meaningful things take time. The most fulfilling successes come with patience and persistence. But it's not about striving at all costs. It's about knowing when to rest, when to reflect, and when to move forward with purpose. It's about understanding that every phase of your life, whether it's a time of action or a time of rest, is value. In those periods of rest, you are preparing. You are recharging. You are aligning with the flow of life so that when the time comes, you will be ready to take the next step with confidence and clarity. If you find yourself in a moment of uncertainty, I encourage you to step back. Breathe. Let go of the pressure you may be feeling to have everything figured out right now. Take a moment of stillness and allow the answers to come to you. When you are still, you are more likely to see what you couldn't before. The clarity will emerge from the quiet spaces. The doubts will fade, and the next step will reveal itself, not because you forced it, but because you allowed it to unfold. This is not to say that you should never take action. Absolutely not. There are times when bold action is necessary, when we must move forward with intention and conviction. But when you are at peace with where you are, when you are aligned with your true self, your actions will be guided by wisdom, not desperation. You will no longer be motivated by fear or insecurity, but by the certainty that you are on the right path. Let go of the need to be in control. The more you try to control the outcome, the more you limit your potential. Control is an illusion. Life is constantly shifting, changing, and evolving. And just like a river, it will flow where it is meant to go. Your job is not to control that flow, but to trust in it. Trust in the process. Trust that every twist and turn is leading you toward your highest good. So when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like things aren't happening fast enough, or when you question whether you're on the right path, pause. Stop, be still. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let go of all the noise. Trust that in this moment, everything you need will come to you. Everything that is meant for you is already on its way, and it will arrive at the perfect time. The universe doesn't work on your schedule, and that's okay. You don't need to know everything right now. You don't need to have all the answers. All you need to do is stay present, stay silent. Trust the process. And above all, trust that everything will come to you naturally when the time is right. As you go forward in your life, remember this simple truth. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing at all. Be still. Be patient. And know that everything you desire will find its way to you. Not through force, but through alignment. The right opportunities will come to you at the right time. The right people will cross your path when you're ready. And your dreams will unfold when you've made space for them to do so. So, stay silent. Trust. Let go of the need to control. And watch as life brings everything you've ever wanted right to your doorstep. We are all constantly in search of something: success, happiness, love, purpose, and yet we often forget that these things are not things to be pursued by force. They are gifts to be received. The more we chase them, the more elusive they become, just like trying to hold on to water in our hands. The key to achieving what we desire in life isn't through relentless pursuit, but through becoming the person who naturally attracts those things by being at peace with who we are. We all carry within us the seeds of greatness, the potential to live lives full of purpose and meaning. Yet, we often make the mistake of thinking we have to do everything on our own, that it's all up to our efforts alone. Yes, hard work is necessary, but hard work doesn't mean working against the natural flow of life. Sometimes the most profound thing we can do is step back and let the universe, or lock the link to the self, take the reins for a while. We don't need to control everything. We only need to trust in the unfolding of our own journey. The truth is, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle, to feel like we're always behind or that we're not doing enough. The world tells us that constant activity equals progress, that if we're not constantly moving, we're failing. But this belief is one of the greatest misconceptions we have been fed. There are many ways to be productive, and sometimes the most productive thing you can do is nothing at all, except to listen. How many times have you found yourself exhausted, overworked, and stressed, only to realize that when you took a step back and gave yourself a moment of rest, the answer to your problem became clearer? When you silence the noise and let go of the pressure, your mind clears, your heart opens, and everything that was once confusing becomes simple. The answers you seek come to you in ways you can't force. They appear in the quiet moments, in the pauses between thoughts, in the spaces where you give yourself permission to just be. And while this may seem counterintuitive in a world that glorifies constant action, there is profound wisdom in stillness. It is in these quiet moments that we tune into our deepest desires and connect with our authentic selves. In stillness, we no longer feel the need to compete with others or to prove our worth. We become fully aware of our own unique journey and the beauty and the beauty in the path we're walking. In those moments of silence, you'll realize that what you truly seek has been right there all along inside of you. Your happiness, your peace, your success, your fulfillment, all of these things are already present within you, waiting for you to align with them. You don't have to chase them or struggle to make them happen. They come when you are willing to be still, to stop fighting against the current, and to allow life to guide you. It's important to remember that success is not a destination, it's a process, a way of being. When we shift our focus from constantly pursuing to simply being, we allow ourselves to experience success as a natural consequence of living in alignment with our values and desires. In the stillness, we find clarity. We stop worrying about where we're supposed to be and instead embrace the journey exactly as it is. So if you want to live a life full of abundance, joy, and peace, remember that you must first be at peace with where you are. Stop measuring your progress by external benchmarks set by others. Success is not about being ahead of the curve or outdoing your peers. It's about finding peace and contentment in the present moment. It's about trusting that everything is unfolding in perfect timing and that the universe has a plan for you, one that doesn't need to be rushed. Think of all the beautiful things in life that take time to grow. A tree doesn't grow overnight. A child doesn't learn to walk in an instant. Everything in nature has its own timing, and we too are part of nature. We are not meant to rush through life, but to experience each moment as it comes, to savor the lessons, and to trust that we are always evolving. Every single one of us has dreams, goals, and aspirations that are unique to us. Yet too often we try to force these dreams to manifest before their time. We worry that we're not doing enough, not moving fast enough, or not achieving enough. But here's the truth: when we're in a hurry, we miss the magic that happens in the pauses. The moments when you think nothing is happening are actually the moments when everything is falling into place. So much of life is happening behind the scenes, and if you trust in the process and allow yourself to be still, you'll begin to see how everything has been moving toward you all along. You don't need to chase your dreams, you need to prepare for them. You need to make space in your life for them to manifest. And the way you make space is by quieting the noise around you and within you. When you stay silent, you give yourself the room to hear the whispers of your heart, to follow your intuition, and to move with the flow of life rather than against it. This isn't a call to inaction or complacency, but rather a call to mindful action. It's about learning when to push forward and when to step back. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is not in taking bold steps, but in staying still, being patient, and trusting the process. Now think about all the times when you felt rushed or pressured to make decisions, only to realize later that the right answer came when you allowed yourself to pause. The best decisions are often the ones made when you've taken the time to listen to your inner voice, to feel your emotions, and to trust that the right answer will come. You don't have to have all the answers now, and you don't have to know exactly where you're going. The journey is about discovery, about exploration, and about trusting that the next step will appear when you're ready for it. So, if you're feeling uncertain, if you're feeling the weight on your shoulders, take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to pause, take a moment to simply be. In that silence, everything you need will begin to emerge. The clarity you seek will appear. The opportunities you've been waiting for will unfold. And the peace that comes from trusting the process will surround you. The more you allow life to unfold naturally, the more you'll realize that all the things you've been striving for will come to you in perfect timing. All you need to do is stay silent, trust, and wait for the beauty of life to reveal itself to you. Life is a journey that's often full of noise, distractions, and pressures. We find ourselves constantly chasing after something, constantly seeking the next thing. In this frantic pursuit, we sometimes forget to stop, breathe, and listen to the quiet rhythm of the world around us. There is power in stillness, a profound energy in waiting, and most importantly, a natural flow that we often miss by overexerting ourselves. But the truth is simple. When you allow life to unfold at its own pace, when you stay silent, everything will come to you naturally. The world is vast, and yet it often feels as if we're constantly struggling to carve our place within it. We look at others and wonder why their lives seem to align so perfectly while we remain stuck in a cycle of effort, frustration, and impatience. But what we fail to realize is that there is a delicate balance in the universe, a rhythm that doesn't need to be forced. The most beautiful things in life are the ones that come naturally, effortlessly, and in their own time. Have you ever watched a flower bloom? The way it opens to the sunlight, unfurling its petals one by one, as if in perfect harmony with the universe around it. It doesn't rush, it doesn't force its way into existence. It simply waits in stillness and patience, knowing that when the time is right, everything will align. This is how we too must approach life. We live in a world where everything seems to be moving faster and faster, where the pressure to succeed, to achieve, to accumulate can feel overwhelming. We're told that success is a product of constant hustle, relentless effort, and a never-ending pursuit of more. But the truth is, this pursuit often leads us down a path of stress, exhaustion, and frustration. We forget that sometimes the most effective action is inaction. We forget that stillness is not the same as stagnation. In stillness, we give ourselves the space to listen, to understand, and to allow the world to reveal its true beauty. In those moments of silence, when we step back from the chaos and the rush, we create space for clarity to emerge. It is in the quiet moments that our intuition speaks the loudest, guiding us toward the path that is meant for us. We can't force it, we can't rush it. But if we trust in the process and stay silent, everything will fall into place. Patience is the key. to unlocking the natural flow of life. It's easy to become impatient when things aren't happening the way we want them to. But rushing through life only creates resistance. When we stop trying to force outcomes and allow ourselves to be guided by the natural rhythm of life, we start to experience true ease. The universe, life, and even our own instincts know exactly what we need when we need it. All we need to do is trust the process. Many of us have been taught to believe that we must always be doing, always be active, always be striving. But in truth, action without reflection, without purpose, is a futile chase. It's like running on a treadmill. You exert a lot of energy, but get nowhere. True success, true fulfillment, comes not from relentless doing, but from knowing when to do and when to be still. Being still doesn't mean being passive. It means being present. It means being so deeply in tune with yourself and the world around you that you can sense the right time to act, the right path to take, and the right people to connect with. It means trusting that you don't need to rush or force things because the right opportunities will come to you at the right time. In this world of constant distractions, it's easy to lose touch with our inner selves. The noise of external expectations, social pressures, and the never-ending pursuit of approval can drown out the quiet voice within that knows exactly what is right for us. But when we choose to be silent, when we step away from the noise, we rediscover our true selves. And in that rediscovery, we wisdom to move forward in alignment with our deepest desires. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is to let go of the need to control every outcome. Life will unfold as it is meant to. Not every moment needs to be filled with activity or action. Not every decision needs to be made right away. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to simply wait, to trust that everything will unfold in its own time. Trust the process, trust the journey, and trust that what is meant for you will find its way to you. This is not to say that action is unnecessary. Of course, there are times when we must step forward, take risks, and make decisions. But these moments come from a place of calm, from a place of inner knowing, not from a place of fear or desperation. When we are centered and still, our actions are more aligned with our true purpose. They are not driven by the need to fill a void or meet an external expectation, but by the quiet wisdom that resides within us. The truth is, the world is not a race. Life is not a competition. Success is not defined by how fast you reach your destination, but by the quality of the journey you take. When you stay silent, when you allow things to come to you naturally, you open yourself to experiences that are far richer and more meaningful than any success that comes from force. Think about the most meaningful relationships you've ever had. These are not relationships that were forced or rushed. They are relationships that grew naturally, organically over time. The same is true for every aspect of life. Whether it's career, health, love, or personal growth, the best results come from allowing things to unfold naturally rather than forcing them into being. There is an immense power in silence. It is in the quiet moments that we connect with our true selves. It is in stillness that we hear the whispers of our heart, guiding us toward the path that is meant for us. And it is through patience and trust that we allow life to reveal its magic to us. So, if you find yourself in a place of uncertainty, if you feel overwhelmed by the noise of the world around you, take a step back. Embrace the power of silence. Allow yourself the gift of stillness. Trust that everything you need will come to you in time. And when the right moment arrives, you will know exactly what to do. In the end, everything that is meant for you will find its way to you, not through force, but through trust, patience, and the quiet certainty that comes when you let go of the need to control every outcome. Stay silent, and everything will come to you naturally.